I'm River Spencer. Welcome back to my interview series where I do my best to answer the questions that you send me via DM or in the comments on one of these. So if you do have a question for next month, go ahead and put it in the comments or DM me. All right, first question. Do you paint the walls, ceiling, and trim the same color? For example, if you're doing white walls. Okay, well, I can tell you what I do, and I always paint everything the same color, especially with white. I just change the sheen. And the reason for that is that white can be perceived in so many different ways with how it reacts to light. And so sometimes whites that aren't necessarily yellow can be made to look yellow next to brighter whites. Okay, next question. Do you paint your kitchen cabinets the same color as the wall if doing white? And the answer is absolutely yes, and you do that for the reason that I just stated. The difference between high gloss paint and lacquer. Okay, that's a good one. So actual lacquer is fine paints of Europe, which is really expensive, and there are only certain people who are certified in each state to be able to do that, and in some states no one is certified, and it's an actual spraying and lacquering process. You can get a high gloss on your walls, but it won't give you that mirror effect that you're looking for with a lacquer. However, it's a huge investment. So you can get an overall effect by doing high gloss, but to get the real deal mirror effect, you have to do the lacquer. Okay, next, how to place electrical outlets in the kitchen. So basically you just hide them. So underneath the island, you want to put like USB and regular electrical plugs, and then you just want to make sure that they are underneath your cabinets and you don't want outlets showing in your backsplash. Ceiling fans in the bedroom with light kit. Okay, my personal opinion on this is that I hate a ceiling fan. However, my mother gets so hot that I had to change out my guest room light fixture for a fan, or she refused to come back. I don't necessarily love a light kit, but if you need it, use it. So I guess in general, no to the ceiling fans, but if you have to, you have to. Okay, TV in the bedroom. Do you have the TV in the living room, or is it okay to display? Okay, so my general thoughts about TVs is we live in a modern world, be practical. I personally don't mind a TV now that they make the Samsung frame TV. You can actually make it look flat, and then you can buy the bezels to put around the flat frame TV, and you can display art if you'd like. My general opinion is, like, even if it's over a mantle, if you really must have it for personal usage, then do so. There are ways to cover TVs, and I will be showing that in the coming months. Okay, the next question, I'm sorry, I'll have to lean in. I might need additional glasses. But pillow insert fill, 100% down, micro down, thoughts on micro down. What sleeping pillows do you like? Can you link them? Okay, that's a lot. So I actually don't really care whether it's down or micro down. I think I started ordering micro down, but I like it firm, and I have actually found that Ball and Branch has the best inserts, which I will link, that are the extra firm. A lot of people are allergic to down, but it doesn't bother me really. Okay, next question. A good hostess gift. Okay, I've got a lot of thoughts on this. Always a bottle of wine is great. I actually think the best hostess gift would be Mississippi cheese straws, but that's just a personal preference. You could bring a nice candle. Oh, if you're in New Orleans, you could bring some macaroons from Sucre. Okay, next question. Rules on how to be a good guest in someone's home. Well, just don't overstay. You're welcome. And always strip the bed. Okay, biggest interior design faux pas. Okay, there are a lot of those. I guess buying a set of furniture would be a big faux pas. If you had to move to another country, which country would that be? The obvious answer is France, but with one caveat about the French. Carry on only, or do you check a bag? I am an overpacker, so I always check a bag. It is not how I want to travel, and it is much to my husband's chagrin. Favorite hotel. Okay, so I have multiple favorite hotels. In the US, it's the Carlyle in New York. In Paris, it's the Ritz, but my actual favorite hotel is Le Morand, which is in the south of France in Avignon. Look it up. Okay, best place to spend money in your home. Best place to spend money in your home. The best answer I can give you is that you should create a collection of things that you love. My general philosophy is don't decorate to hit a budget number. If you can't do it all at once, then just buy pieces that you love. Like a wonderful antique chest might be out of your budget in general, but I would rather see a client do a few great things than just do some okay things. Unlacquered brass or polished brass, what's the difference? Okay, so polished, I like both finishes, and I don't necessarily think that one is better than the other. Unlacquered brass is for people who are not completely OCD because it is a living finish and it patinates over time, and you have to basically care for it. So it'll tarnish over time. I think that look is beautiful and it creates patina. But polished brass means that it will not patina and it will remain that brass always. Marble versus quartz or quartzite. What is the difference and which do you prefer? Okay, the answer to that is that I love marble. I always will prefer marble over quartz or quartzite because I believe it is a beautiful natural stone and is always more sophisticated than anything else. Quartz is the man-made, and I would only resort to that if you're on a major budget or in an upstairs bathroom or something, or laundry room plain white quartz. But in terms of marble versus quartzite, I always am going to pick the marble. However, I do a lot of quartzite because sometimes people don't want to deal with the upkeep of marble or the staining because marble is a very porous material. If you're going to go quartzite, I think Taj Mahal is very pretty, and then there are several others that are light in color that you could use. What's your opinion on open shelving versus closed cabinets in kitchen design? Okay, definitely closed cabinets and all the way to the ceiling when you can afford it. But I do like open shelving in an area like a bar or a mudroom or laundry room. Ceiling can lights or no? Okay, so when you need them, I think they're fine. However, now that everybody's switched to LED bulbs, contractors are always trying to put in those like really bright bulbs, and I really like the soft white or warm, sort of the yellowy soft white light, which I think is like 2700 kelvins. So go with that if you have to do can lights. Okay, so favorite flowers / plants to plant outside. I've got a very long-winded answer to this, but lately I've really been loving Lisianthus and Viburnum. I always love hydrangeas, especially an antique hydrangea. I love a white rose or a yellow tulip. I also love peonies and ranunculus. And then outside, New Orleans is very limiting on that and is more sort of prone to tropical plants because of the zone that we're in. So I keep trying to plant hydrangeas and they just keep dying. So I've resorted to doing azaleas, white azaleas, and then jasmine, growing jasmine. Ski trip or beach trip? Neither. I like cities. Introvert or extrovert? I'm actually very introverted and can behave in an extroverted way, but I need my time alone. Best advice your grandmother or someone like that gave you? Be particular. And that is my advice for all things in life. Just be particular. Best business advice you've ever received? Don't take advice from anyone who is not doing better than you are. Can you share a simple yet effective way to add a pop of color to a neutral room? Okay, that one's easy. That would be artwork and pillows. What's your favorite type of flooring to work with and why? Okay, so I've made the mistake of leaving, well, it's not a mistake, but my floors of my house have original antique pine. It is so soft and it makes it really hard to have dogs. I think white oak is probably the hardiest and best looking, but it all depends on the finish that you use. So that's a really open-ended question. Although in a bathroom, I hate fake marble. Like when you try to use porcelain as marble, I hate that. How do you approach accessorizing a room to add the finishing touches? Okay, so the accessorizing is always the last thing that I do in a space, and it's actually really difficult. I always come in at the end of a project and do a layer of accessories, but the real answer to this is that you have to collect things over time to create a richly layered, textured space. And it all starts with travel and your own sort of adding your own touch to it. How do you incorporate natural elements into your design? I assume this means bringing the outdoors in. I like to use a lot of plants and cache pose or fresh flowers. I also am really into using a lot of green right now. You can use natural fiber rugs like sisals. I use a lot of ivy or maidenhair fern for non-flowering plants, or then obviously fresh flowers. What are some common misconceptions people have about interior design? Okay, I could write a book on this alone, but I think people aren't really, they don't really understand the process. And I think the best advice I could give anybody is, number one, it's an investment. So you have to know that on the front end. And number two, you have to let go and trust the professional that you hired. Because if you hire a designer and then you hamstring them by tying their hands behind their back and make them reselect a million things, then your design is not going to come out well overall. So you have to hire the right person, be ready to have the investment, and then just let the professional be the professional. Finally, can you share a design trend that you predict will be popular in the coming year? I hate trends. That's the answer to that question. So no, I can't. Okay, that's all I have time for right now, but thank you so much for submitting your questions, and I will get to the rest of them next month. If you want to submit a question, go ahead and put it in the comments or DM me.